My name is Perry, and what you're about to hear is something I've only told a handful of people, mostly because no one believes me. And honestly, I don't blame them. If I were listening to this story from someone else, I'd probably assume it was exaggerated. I was 34 years of old and was broke in every aspect of my life by then. Marriage, financial stability, career, friends. I had just moved to a new city, rent was overdue, and I was down to my last few $100s. When I saw the listing online, it looked perfect. I didn't take the night shift security job because I wanted to. I took it because I had no other choice. I had moved to the city barely a month earlier after losing my previous job. The plan was to find work quickly, but things didn't go the way I expected. Applications went unanswered. Interviews led nowhere. My savings dropped faster than I admitted to myself. The job ad was simple, almost suspiciously simple. It says, "Night security guard needed, immediate hiring." No company name, no requirements mentioned on the ad. Just an email address and a pay rate that felt unreal. $22 per hour for night shift, for just sitting and walking around. It felt a little suspicious, but the pay convinced me. I told myself not to overthink it. I was behind on rent. I was down to my last few $100s and living on instant noodles. I emailed them. They replied within 10 minutes. No interview, no questions, no resume requested, just a single line with the address. They had asked me whether I can start from coming Monday at 10 p.m. The address was listed as an office building on the outskirts of the city, near an old industrial zone. I'd never been out that far. I replied, yes, before my mind gets more thoughts. The address led me far from the city center, past closed warehouses and dark stretches of road where streetlights barely worked. By the time I pulled into the parking lot, I felt like I'd left civilization behind. The building stood alone, 4 stories tall, concrete walls, no name board, no logo, just one flickering light above the entrance. The parking lot was empty. It seems no one is inside by this time. I remember sitting in my car for a full minute, engine running, wondering if I was about to make a huge mistake. I almost turned my car around to leave back, but rent doesn't care about instincts. I parked my car in a slot closer to the entrance gate and went inside, hoping someone will be there to guide me because they didn't share any mobile number with me to contact them. The lobby was silent in a way that felt unnatural, not peaceful, empty. The kind of quiet that makes your own breathing feel too loud. A folding table sat near the center of the room. Behind it was a man in his late 50s, maybe early 60s. He looked exhausted, like someone who hadn't slept properly in years. His eyes were bloodshot, his posture slumped. I went to him. He didn't introduce himself. He just smiles faintly and slid a badge, a key ring, and a clipboard toward me. No uniform. He told me that the office is down the hall and the bathrooms are behind the stairs, and he instructed me to walk the floors once in every hour. I took everything that he gave and turned back to go to the office down the hall, but the man stopped me. He told me not to investigate if I hear any footsteps above me. I laughed at him, thinking it was some attempt at humor, but he didn't smile. This time he was more serious. He said it doesn't matter how real it sounds. Doesn't matter if it sounds close. Don't go looking. I opened my mouth to ask why, but he was already packing up his papers. As he left, he said something that still chills me. He warned me not to stay longer than my scheduled time. Then the door closed behind him, and I was alone. The first 3 nights were uneventful, too uneventful. I was thinking that man was trying to scare me for no reason. I didn't see him after my first day here. Maybe he was the person who did this job before me, and he may have asked to leave and he is jealous with me. I walked each floor at the top of every hour, checked locked doors, looked into dark offices filled with old desks and dusty computers. Everything felt frozen in time, like the building had been abandoned mid-workday. The security office was small, a desk, a chair, and 4 old monitors that showed grainy camera feeds. Half of them flickered with static. No movement, no alerts, nothing. I started to relax. By the 4th night, I brought snacks. By the 5th, my laptop. I watched movies, scrolled endlessly, and joked to myself about how lucky I'd gotten. I stopped thinking about the warning, but that was my mistake. It was around 1:40 a.m. on the 6th night. I was on the 2nd floor, leaning against the railing, staring at my phone. That's when I heard it. Footsteps. Above me. Not random noises. Not creaking. Actual footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Measured. Someone was walking on the 3rd floor. My first thought was that someone had broken in. My second thought was what that man told me on the first day. The footsteps stopped, just above where I was standing. I held my breath. After a few seconds, they started again, moving away. I didn't move. I didn't even blink. When they finally faded, I went straight back to the security office and locked the door. The footsteps came back the next night. At the same time. Same pace. It's always above me. If I stayed on the 1st floor, they were on the 2nd. If I moved to the 2nd floor, they moved to the 3rd. Never below me. Never beside me. Always above. I told myself it was an old building. Pipes, expansion, animals. But animals don't walk with intention, and pipes don't stop automatically when you stop moving. On the 9th night, I noticed something wrong with the clipboard on the table. It was thicker. There were more pages, typed rules I had never seen before. Rule number 1, walk the floors once an hour. Rule number 2, do not leave the building during your shift. Rule number 3, if you hear footsteps above you, do not investigate. Rule number 4, if you hear someone calling your name, do not respond. Then there was rule number 5. It says, if you see someone who looks like you, leave immediately. My stomach dropped. I laughed nervously. Someone is messing up with me. It had to be a joke. But the few words written at the bottom of the page startled me. It says, it's too late. Maybe that man is mad at me. He may worry about the lost income. It could be that he hasn't got a job until now and he badly wants this job back. So, he is trying to scare me, thinking that I will leave the place and he will get the job back. I just scanned the surrounding and smiles to myself and went for the hourly walkarounds. That same night, while I was scrolling my phone, sitting in the office, I heard something new. A whisper of my name. I got startled. No one in this building knows my name other than the man I met on first day. I haven't met any of the workers who work here since I come to work at 10 p.m. and leave here by 6 in the morning. So it's confirmed that man is messing with me, trying to scare me. Few seconds later, I heard the whisper of my name again. It came from the hallway. A soft, old, male voice. I was in disbelief. I covered my ears. The whisper turned into a knock on the door. 3 slow knocks. I didn't answer. Eventually, it stopped. But I knew something had changed. On the 12th night, the footsteps came back. Louder than ever. Not slow like before. Fast. Almost like someone was hurrying up the stairs. That was it for me. 12 nights of this was enough. I figured it had to be someone messing around. Maybe that guard. Maybe someone else who wanted to scare me. So I decided to check. I followed the sound up the stairwell. 1st floor, 2nd, then the 3rd. The building felt unusually quiet, like it was no longer in use. Uneasy. Even my own footsteps sounded too loud. When I reached the third-floor hallway, I saw someone standing at the far end, just a person, slightly blurred under the dim emergency light. He was facing away from me, about my height, dark clothes, covering head from a hoodie. For a second, I thought it might actually be that guard, but something about the way he was just standing there, completely still, made me uneasy. I cleared my throat, and who's there? The person turned around slowly. I couldn't see their face clearly. The light behind them made it hard, but I got the feeling he didn't expect me to follow. He didn't say anything, just stood there for a second. Then the corridor lights flickered once, twice, and suddenly went out. Total darkness. Then I heard the footsteps again, but this time they weren't moving away. They were coming toward me slowly, like he can see through the darkness. I couldn't see anything in the darkness. No hallway lights, no exit sign glow. Nothing. Just those footsteps getting closer, heavy but slow. Like whoever it was knew exactly where I was standing. My heart started pounding. I tried to step back, but my legs suddenly felt weak. I remember calling out once. I don't even know what I said. Then everything just went blank. When I opened my eyes again, early morning sunlight was coming through the windows. I was lying on the floor like I'd just dozed off, but my head was pounding and my shirt was damp with sweat. I rushed through the hallway to my office. Although the time is around 6:30 a.m., I didn't meet anyone in the building on my way back to the security office. I rushed open the door to the security office room and wrote a quick resignation note. Not a letter, just 3-word sentence with my signature, and kept on the table. Then I cleared out my locker, grabbed my things, and left as fast as I could. I can't remember how I drove away. I can't remember passing anything familiar. I don't remember how long I drove. What I just wanted is to go far away from that place. To this day, I still think about that night sometimes, trying to figure out what really happened in that hallway. Maybe it was just someone sneaking around, or maybe I panicked more than I should have. But I never went back to find out, and strangely, no one from there ever reached out after I left so suddenly.